Alright, so recently I made a video going over every meme in 2024, and just as I expected, no one fucking watched that shit because the video was like 10 hours long, which was actually kind of sad because that video took 10 times the effort that was went into my Squid Game character tier list video. So this kind of proves that effort does not necessarily equate to results. But anyway, so that got me thinking, maybe I should try a shorter video since the average attention span of the people decreased in record numbers due to TikTokification. It also got me thinking, what else can Yeetmo yap about? I know some of y'all asked for the Squid Game 1 character tier list video, but I'm still thinking about how I'm gonna do it. But in the meantime, recently, I've been seeing so many posts discovering Lee Byeong Hun again, talking about Frontman doing anything but his job. And that basically inspired me to make this video. Some of y'all Squid Game casuals don't know what the real good stuff is, so let me step in and introduce you to some real shit. And some of y'all in the Squid Game video comments tried to teach me about like the actors and actresses and who they are and shit, as I pronounced everyone's name flawlessly. Like, come on y'all. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna show you the top 5 works that the frontman was in before Squid Game. And technically the intended audience is for those who are not familiar with Lee Byeong Hun's work. But I have a feeling the people who are actually gonna watch are those who already know him. So I'm just gonna say this video will contain semi-spoilers. I'll introduce the movie/drama at first, and then play the Metal Gear Solid sound effect to get into the spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, just use the YouTube chapters function to skip to the next chapter. Or watch the video at your own discretion, whatever. But yeah, if you have not watched any of these, watch them after this video. Like, this shit is peak cinema. You better fucking watch all of these. You watch Squid Game 1 and 2, which is like what? In 9 and 7 episodes? So that's like an hour each. That's 16 hours. These 5 movies, assuming 2 hours each, is 10 hours long, so that's light work, right? Also, before I get into the rankings, I'm gonna do an explanation of how I rank them. And I'll make it quick this time, because some viewers complained that I yapped too much in the beginning. I'm like, damn bro, I'm sorry, but I'm also not trying to leave out any details of my goated thought process. But anyway, number 1, the movie/drama. I know I'm showcasing Lee Byeong Hun, but also it doesn't matter how good the character or the acting is if the movie/drama is mid, right? So yeah, I'm taking the quality of the project in consideration, because some of the shit he's been in is straight buns, like all the Hollywood, G.I. Joe, Red 2, Terminator, all that nonsense. I mean, yeah, he's still sexy as fuck in those movies, but the movies are dogs, so I don't recommend. Number 2, Lee Byeong Hun's character. Basically how interesting the character he plays is, how well written his character is, how impactful his character presence is. Simple enough. Number 3, Lee Byeong Hun's acting performance. No need to explain. Basically judging how well he acted, how much his acting impacted the immersion, shit like that. And sure, I'm not a fucking actor or anything, but I don't need to be a chef to see how good the food is, you feel me? But we'll start off with 3 honorable mentions first. Number 1, JSA or Joint Security Area. Movie's pretty much about the tension between North and South Korea in the Demilitarized Zone or DMZ. The frontman basically plays a South Korean soldier caught in a conflict with North Korean soldiers. Pretty thrilling movie, should check it out. Actor Song Kang-ho from Parasite is also in this shit. Like bro, you have a movie with 2 of the greatest South Korean actors to breathe this Mother Earthly air. Number 2, Keys to the Heart. Frontman plays a retired boxer who tries his best to take care of his brother with autism. A pretty heartwarming movie. I'll definitely recommend, but low-key the actor Park Jung-min, who plays the autistic brother, is way more impressive in terms of acting performance in this movie. But anyway, number 3, The Good, the Bad, the Weird. Inspired from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, basically a Western-style thriller that takes place during the World War II era. Frontman is the bad in the movie, Chung Woo-sung is the good, and Song Kang-ho is the weird. Like bro, do you see this fucking cast? You have to watch it based on the cast alone, but anyway, pretty fun movie, and the frontman style is something else in this movie. Like you thought he was attractive in Squid Game? Look at this shit and tell me you're not ovulating right now, but yeah, let me chill real quick. Alright, with those honorable mentions out of the way, here is the actual list.
사람은 인격이라는 게 있고 국가는 국격이라는 게 있어. 각하가 국가야. 국가 지키는 게 내 일이야. 여기는 네가 있을 자리 그런 자리가 아니야 이 새끼야.
Number 5. The Man Standing Next. The movie is about the assassination of Park Chung-hee, the third president of South Korea, who's probably one of the most controversial historical figures in Korean history. If you guys didn't know, Korea wasn't always so Squid Gamey and Parasite and K-poppy and shit. Like, they were actually all broke as fuck. Like, most of the Korean people probably qualified to enter the Squid Games. But anyway, the dude basically brought one of the biggest economic booms in Korea, but in return for dictatorship and suppression of democracy and shit like that. Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. But yeah, I won't get into the history much further. Like, I am Korean, but I'm not that Korean. Like, you think I'm King Sejong or some shit? I don't waste my time fucking studying every historical document. I instead waste my time by making an hour-and-a-half long meme ranking video. Anyway, Frontman pretty much plays the right-hand man of the president who assassinated the president. But yeah, these types of movies, since the history itself is the spoiler, you really have to emphasize the sequence building, set design, music, cinematography, dialogue, and acting to make the movie good, because the story itself is not that important. And in my opinion, all of those align pretty well, especially the frontman's acting. Throughout the movie, he does a very good job showing a man versus self internal struggle, and he does so through his facial expressions. In the movie, he's kind of one of the only ones who's somewhat morally just, because like everyone else in the fucking office is corrupt as fuck and just wants to kill their own citizens or some shit because of protests. But because of that, he slowly starts to lose the support of the president and the other people in the cabinet, and the movie puts it up to the audience as to whether or not the frontman did this out of justice, or if he did this because he felt outed by the president and his circle. Like, for example, there's a character who's the friend of the frontman that wants to expose all of the president's crimes and wrongdoings to the United States, which puts the president's power in danger. So the frontman wanted to show loyalty to the president and asks him, "What shall I do for you?" And then the president says, "Do whatever the fuck you want, LMAO." So to show loyalty to the president, the frontman basically kills his friend. But that doesn't really solve anything, so the president was like, "The fuck are you doing, you dumb fuck?" And then the frontman's like, "Huh?" And also in the movie, there's another motherfucker who's trying to glaze the president, and the president shows interests of replacing the frontman with this motherfucker. And the frontman overhears this conversation, so now he's like, "Yeah, the ops got me. Got no choice but to unload the mag." And let me tell you, the dinner scene where the actual assassination happens is such a good sequence. Like, you know the president is about to get popped in the head, but I was still so tense and invested into the scene. Like, damn, I thought I was part of the team for a second. Anyway, yeah, strongly recommend. The only problem is that some of y'all might have no idea what the fuck is even going on, because it's a very politically charged, comprehensively challenging film. But I believe you guys can do it. Just watch it.
네 해병대 대위 유진초예요.
귀하는 내가 누군지 모르지 않소.
Number 4, Mr. Sunshine. Arguably a top 5 Korean drama of all time in my opinion. I think this is probably one of the more popular ones in the list, just because it is available on Netflix. But yeah, the frontman plays a man named Eugene Choi, who grew up in a poor family where his parents got abused by the rich aristocrat type beat motherfuckers, and then runs away to the US and joins the Marine Corps, and later comes back to Korea as a Marine Corps officer and just mogs every fucking Korean out there, like, goddamn. Another work with a historical background. I'm sure some of y'all know, but yeah, Korea and Japan don't have the best history together. But yeah, that's kind of the context of the drama. I'm gonna keep this section short, because I'm gonna be honest, I forgot like 90% of this shit. Like, bro, this drama is 24 episodes long, and each episode is at least an hour, and some of them go up to like an hour 30. Like, what the fuck? How did I even finish this shit? I'm sure people now with the TikTok attention span watching dramas at 2 times speed with Subway Surfers in the back, they are cooked as fuck. They are not watching this shit. But anyway, back to the drama. Frontman this time around falls in love with this noble woman played by Kim Tae-ri. And I know this is a video about Lee Byeong Hun, but holy shit, Kim Tae-ri is so fucking pretty, man. May the father above himself bless me with a woman like her. Because if it doesn't happen, then life will be meaningless. But yeah, this love story is a little special, because it's a very old-fashioned style love. but she also trains to become some independence fighter, sniper, and crosses paths with the frontman. And also the frontman crosses paths with some other interesting characters. Mainly these two dudes who are also trying to hit on the noblewoman. Like, all of you, back the fuck up, cause she's mine. But yeah, you know the girl's a baddie when she has some of the stiffest competition. Like, one of the dude is this masculine samurai motherfucker. Cold ass motherfucker, but he's also a tsundere. And by the way, I fucking hate tsunderes. Like, bro, I know you're a soft cutie patootie on the inside. Stop fucking acting hard and scary. And then there's another dude who's actually the son of the rich motherfuckers that abused the frontman's family. Like, damn, life really comes full circle. If I had to pick some scenes that made this drama, first there's a scene where the frontman actually comes back to Korea and confronts the rich family that tormented his family back then, and pulls a pistol on them like, holy shit, this is the most satisfying shit ever. Also, there's an independence fighter guy who helps the frontman move to the US when he was a kid. The frontman revisits him as a Marine Corps officer, and the dude's first like, bro, who the fuck is this dude? And then realizes he's that little kid that he saved back then, and then just starts dying laughing. Such a good scene. Also, the final scene where the frontman sacrifices his life for Kim Tae-ri. Like, what a fucking legend, bro. But since the frontman is dead now, I think it's my turn to rizz her up. But anyway, yeah, excellent drama. The acting, the set design, music, the characters, all great. My only gripe, I guess, is that at first the frontman's character seems to fucking hate Korea, since his own mother nation fucked him and his family over so hard. But for some reason, this dude speaks perfect 1900s Korean, like, damn, this motherfucker was grinding that Squid Game Duolingo. But yeah, his character slowly regains his fondness of his Korean identity and tries to protect his motherland from the Japanese. Cool stuff. Number 3. A Bittersweet Life. Alright, I'd like to believe that this movie might be the frontman's most iconic film. Movie's basically about the frontman who's the right-hand man of this crime boss. And yeah, I know he's the right-hand man again, but whatever. And it tells the story of how he loses the trust of his boss and gets betrayed. And yeah, the shit basically goes down. So what really happens is that the boss, who's like fucking 200 years old by the way, got his main hoe, who's like 20 years old. Like, bro, you're a fucking pedophile. Get yourself some gilf or some shit while you're messing with these kids. But also, what the fuck is this girl doing? Gold digging and shit. Alright, let me chill and continue. Basically, the boss suspects that his girl is a cheating ass hoe and tells the frontman to hang with her for a bit and see if she's cheating. And tells him if she is cheating, then delete her from this realm of existence. And yeah, the movie basically says that the frontman is a loyal, emotionless ass dude who's always getting the job done. So the boss trusted him on that part. So yeah, the frontman hangs with the girl for a bit and then confirms that yes, this gold digging ass hoe is indeed a cheating ass hoe as well. But as he's about to finish the job, he remembers the few times he spent time with her and realizes that she's everything that he is not. She's a symbol of beauty, peace, and purity, while he's just a dirty gangster. But yeah, he indeed folds and decides to spare her. The boss finds out and questions him like, bro, you simp ass motherfucker, I told you to finish the job. Why didn't you do it? Is it cause you care for her or some shit? And then basically tortures the frontman to near death as punishment. And yeah, everything after that, the dude fucking crashes the fuck out and goes on a tear. Well yeah, Lee Byeong Hun, cool as fuck in this movie. Some of the coolest scenes include the action scenes in the middle of the movie. Also, there's a scene where he pretends to be someone else and goes to buy a gun, and the gun merchant's like, yo, let me teach you how to use this shit while we confirm your identity. And then later finds out that the frontman is not the guy they were looking for, and they have the most tense gun building scene. Like, this is master cinema, bro. Also, the end scene where he's actually confronting his boss, full of emotions, man, it's crazy. Also, the original soundtrack in this movie is one of the most famous in Korea. Like, you will hear this in every Korean variety show ever. Okay, moving on.
점점 끔찍해질 거야.
Alright, now we're getting into some real shit. This may be the frontman's coolest character ever, but let's see. The frontman plays an NIS agent, which is basically equivalent to a CIA agent in the United States, whose fiancé gets killed by this ruthless serial killer played by Choi Min-sik, who is also one of the best Korean actors of all time. Like, this dude is basically the Al Pacino of Korea. But anyway, yeah, he ends up crashing the fuck out and then swears to exact revenge in the most sadistic way possible. You might expect the movie to be a revenge film where he swears to find him and kill him, but actually the frontman finds the dude like 20 minutes into the movie or some shit and beats the living fuck out of him and lets him go as he plants a location tracker inside the serial killer. And yeah, this dude is basically just letting the man go, finding him again, and torturing him again. Like, low-key, the concept is so satisfying, but trust me, the movie is anything but satisfying. Now, I don't recommend this movie if you get easily squeamish. Like, yeah, Squid Game is pretty violent, but this movie makes Squid Game look like fucking Coco Melon. So the reason why I say this, as you all know, is that the serial killer is so fucked up, bruh. Like, they show all kinds of shit, like the actual scene where he murders the girl and chops up her body. The serial killer also kidnaps a middle schooler and tries to pipe before the frontman shows up and serves him some sweet justice. Also, there's a scene where the serial killer forces himself on a nurse, and the frontman pulls up again and fucking tears the dude's Achilles apart. And yes, they don't use cuts here, they literally show the scene to its full. But yeah, the frontman has infinite aura in this movie. Like, especially in this scene, like, look at his fucking eyes, man. However, as I mentioned earlier, this movie is anything but a happy ending, because in the process of playing this cat and mouse game, the frontman loses everything in the process. Like, not only does he fuck up his own life, he fucks up everyone else's lives. The director is trying to tell you that all this extra revenge shit will not be worth that all in the end. Because it's not like doing all this is gonna revive your dead wife. But if you want to do all this shit, just lock him up in a cell, tie him down with the chain, and then do all your torture bullshit then, so that he has zero chance of fucking shit over and escaping. One of the most notable scenes in the movie actually doesn't have the frontman in it. It's actually with a serial killer, where he rides a taxi and realizes the taxi is also taken over by other criminals. So he locks in and murks the fuck out of everyone in the taxi while the camera is spinning 360 degrees, capturing every angle. Absolute fucking cinema. It goes to show that this serial killer wasn't actually a dumbass, like, he actually knows what he's doing. Also, the end scene, probably one of the best anti-climax to a film. The frontman does an insanely good job showing that although he technically killed the serial killer, the pain in his heart has never left. I love it when films do anti-climax so well. That shit is so hard to do without completely blue-balling the audience.
이 나라 영화한테 가자. 복수으로 가자고 거뜬하게. 어떤 미친놈이 깡패가 한 말을 믿겠나? 뒤질 때까지 싸워보려니까.
Alright, in my opinion, this is the best movie that the frontman appears in without a doubt. In this movie, the frontman is a gangster, yet again, who has his own entertainment company, but also does political deeds on the side. He gets caught between a mass political corruption, where the media, the corporation, and the politician all work together to stay in absolute power. Not sure how to explain this further because the concept of the movie is a little more complex, but remember when Ji-young from Squid Game 1 said this line?
야, 스케일이 제주도가 뭐냐? 뭐 하와이 아니 몰디브 정도는 가줘야지. 영화 안 봤냐? 이병헌 나오는 거. 모히또 가서 몰디브 혼자. 몰라?
Yes, if you don't know, this is one of the most popular lines in Korean movies, and it is directly referencing this movie.
난 저기 모히또 가가지고 몰디브나 한잔 하려니까.
Which is crazy because if she knows that movie, then she has also watched the frontman be in that movie. But the frontman is also in Squid Game, like, I mean, alright I guess. So to explain the concept of the movie further, the media is represented by this writer from a big journalism company, and the corporation includes the owner of this big motor company, and then the politician is the dude who is one of the nominees for the next presidential election. So what happens is that the big motor company sponsors the presidential nominee via a slush fund, and the journalist ties them together and writes in favor of these figures. Basically all a bunch of illegal corruption shit, and to make it worse, these motherfuckers host Diddy parties too. Like they're out here naked with girls drinking and shit, low-key lit as fuck but also hella degenerate. And yeah, the frontman gets access to the evidence that proves this corruption and gives a copy to the journalist dude who he is close with, but the frontman does not know that the journalist is a part of this whole corruption situation. The journalist loses trust in this motherfucker, and on a side note, I realized half the movie that I just talked about, the frontman, he's just some dude working for a dude in higher power, and it ends up losing the trust of that said person in the higher power. But whatever. Yeah, the journalist orders one of the henchmen to cut off the frontman's arms, but right now the frontman does not know that the journalist is the one who fucked his life over. Anyway, there's this prosecutor dude who's good at his job but lacks the connections, so he tries to climb his way up by solving even more cases, and he wants to expose this whole triangle of corruption mentioned earlier, and he partners with the frontman to do so. And that's as far as I'll go with the recap of the movie. This shit is peak fiction, but I'm gonna be real, some of this shit isn't even really fiction, cause shit like this happened before in Korea. Anyway, I recommend watching the 3-hour director's cut version, cause it's just better. But if it's too long, just watch the theatrical version. Shit's like maybe 2 hours and 10 minutes. But to summarize, probably the best political thriller I've seen. Movie has a lot of stuff to keep track of, but hella satisfying. Anyways, that's it. Those are my top 5 frontman appearances. Lee Byeong Hun, absolute GOAT, literal legend, and I'm glad more people are finding out more about him from Squid Game. By the way, I wanted to say this at some point in the video, but I couldn't, so I'm just gonna say it now. But I heard this dude was 5'6". Google lists him as 5'10", and Lee Jung-jae as 5'11". But if you look at this picture, clearly one of these motherfuckers is lying, because that is not an inch difference. And if you actually think that's an inch difference, like you think an inch is that big, then hit my lineup, because I got a couple inches myself, if you know what I mean. Okay, anyways, enough yapping. Make sure you watch these movies, and if you've already watched them all, then I salute you. Hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, that's it. Lee Byeong Hun, GOAT, the end.